Hello, how are you everyone out there? And like promised, true to his word, Professor Mondo Kagonyera has accepted us to be with him and converse with him about the life of Nyaka AIDS Project. And it's a huge honor one more time. Welcome to the show, Professor.
Thank you very much indeed. Good evening, viewers.
15 years ago, Nyaka was born out of an AIDS movement.
Yes.
And in the words of President Jimmy Carter, he actually says it in this book that this turned from painful sorrow into a success story.
Yes.
Most of our successes usually come out of a backbone of a cause, HIV, Nyaka.
Yes.
What am I trying to ask you? Should we really focus
more that you mean there has to be something grossly wrong,
yes,
in order for you to react and be successful?
Exactly.
Something that is not right is a powerful motivator for intervention. You are partly right in asking that question. Actually, you are quite right. Because many of our people leave things to go bad before they react, which is a wrong philosophy. We should always do things up front rather than reacting to what has already happened. HIV/AIDS is a very unique condition because, as you know, it was in the 1980s that people realized that there was such a disease as AIDS. And because of our ignorance, it had a very devastating effect on Uganda in particular. And I'm very, very happy. Incidentally, I was in the cabinet when President Museveni came out in the open and said, we have a problem called AIDS and we must face it squarely. So many people had died. If we went to places like Rakai, there was not a single family that didn't have two sick people, the father and the mother, and sometimes the small kid. So people were dying like flies, leaving orphans. It had, I don't know whether anybody has ever quantified the economic toll on our country caused by AIDS. And therefore anybody who could make some intervention on that disease was doing the right thing. I agree with you. It's not always the right thing to react. We should always be proactive. But AIDS was never known in the world until around 1980-81. And I remember there was gross misunderstanding all over the world, thinking, oh, AIDS was a disease of homosexuals in San Francisco and other areas, or in Africa, it's because the people are very unhealthy and therefore they get this infection. There was even a movement in America and Europe, reported in the Times of London, people saying there was never such a thing as AIDS, that people were using it as a conduit to get money. So AIDS was misunderstood, grossly misunderstood. And therefore when President Museveni said, here is a problem that we must understand and deal with, I think he came off very, very well. And that's why we made a tremendous success in fighting AIDS.
And actually, when you mention that, Jackson in his book also talks about the misconception of HIV in our local communities, actually the whole of Africa.
Yes. Until recently,
yes,
in
until
South Africa, they didn't think that AIDS was a real medical problem. Ignorance, as I told you.
And actually, we need to credit President Museveni and the government for standing out and bring out this message.
Yes.
To try and fight this scourge. Now we have another AIDS in our vicinity, cancer. It is killing us left, right, and center. Are we going to wait for someone else to come up with a cause so that we can take this fight against cancer?
Now, with AIDS, because of the total ignorance about it, in America, you had people like President Reagan, who had no time for AIDS victims. Until his close friend, I forget the name of the guy, died of AIDS. And that's when Reagan put large amounts of money in studying and understanding AIDS, right? A few years later, even the virus which causes the disease, or which leads to the disease actually, it immunosuppresses your body, and then you start reacting to other conditions. So AIDS was actively misunderstood at one time. Jerry Falwell was a preacher in America. He even had proposed that all AIDS patients, sufferers, victims actually, should be gathered and put in one place to meet their creator there. Now with the cancer, cancer is completely different. First of all, cancer has been around since time began. Cancer is known by everybody. And in fact, the more advanced a society becomes, the more significance cancer adapts, because you get rid of malaria, you get rid of sleeping sickness, and if you can get rid of jiggers, then cancer becomes important. Now, there are very many types of cancer. Therefore, it is wrong to talk of cancer as one disease. It is a complex condition where your body's cells stop controlled growth, and they grow at random and limitlessly. But the causes are different, and the parts of the body affected are different. Therefore, the fight against cancer is not peculiar to Uganda, is not a Ugandan problem, but a problem of the whole world. Fortunately, therefore, many research scientists in the world are studying the cause of cancer, they are studying the pathology of cancer, the immunology of cancer, the immunity of cancer, and other forms of treatment. To the extent that some scientists think that you can even manipulate the genes in your body so that they don't respond to cancer. Therefore, the fight against the cancer is worldwide. And in Uganda, we are only tiny players.
Away from that, Professor.
Yes.
Where should now Nyaka AIDS Foundation focus more of their energies?
I think reaching out to as many helpless children as we possibly can is the way forward. I can't see anything else. If we can make some material change in the lives of as many kids as we possibly can, that will be it.
When I was coming here, and I mentioned that I was going to meet you to have this conversation with
Yes.
you, one of my friends asked me, why not tackle the bottlenecks? You see, the HIV/AIDS that does usually affect children going to school, but the real bottleneck are the parents as well. Why don't we tackle that?
Tackling is already taking place. For example, fortunately, this word is discovered in this country. There is a form of treatment which an AIDS victim will take before she delivers, and the child will not develop AIDS. If we can stress that and get every childbearing female who is affected to take the treatment, I hope we can afford it, I'm not sure. But that treatment, that intervention alone will help nearly every kid who is born to be AIDS-free. And that's the best intervention we can make with regard to the child.
Professor,
Yes.
do you hope to replicate such a project in different regions of Uganda and Africa?
Which project? Of looking after the children?
Yes.
We are restricted by funds. And now that you have mentioned it, next time I meet Jackson, I will put to him. I know he's getting tired. You see, the trouble with us, we are largely dependent on that one person to raise the funds. If we can create an organization where there are as many Jacksons as is possible, I would want us to start with Uganda. And then we can go to other countries like Congo. Yes. But I definitely report to him and see how we can move.
I've been lucky to pass through Makerere University when you were the chancellor.
Yes.
And we used to be told about your humbleness. And today, coming here, I meet a humble character, yet extraordinary. I want to ask you.
Maybe I'm more modest than I am humble. By the way, you guys can be a rough guy.
No, but I want to ask you.
If you provoke me.
Yes, but I want to ask you, with that modesty,
yes.
humble,
yes.
Where does it come from?
I wished I knew. There are things that influence your life. Some are genotypic. They originate from your genes. My father was a very humble man and a very hard-working government servant. Genes. There are also others which are phenotypic. They form outside. The environment can affect you. Probably both have played. I think I inherited a bit from my father, whom I remember he was when I was young. I never had him, the Bachigalav fighting. Or they are predisposed, I don't know which one it is.
Yes.
But I never had him fight anybody. And in my adult life, I've never fought anybody. No. I can't slap you. So I really don't know where I got it from. But you learn from others. You read about people like Dr. Schweitzer. You know who he was? Dr. Schweitzer, I think, was a German who spent all his life in Central Africa, Gabon, Congo. Medical doctor, looking after people. You read about people like Mama Teresa. Those people impact on one very positively. I like learning from other people.
In 1 second, your role model.
I think my role model is the Almighty God.
Thank you. And when we come back from that commercial break, we shall continue the conversation. Thank you for staying tuned to Urban TV, and my name is Edmond Safari. And we're still in the residence of Professor Mondo Kagonyera while he's taking his tea.
Yes.
As we continue with our conversation, Professor.
Right.
Now, Professor, this December, to be precise, 1st December,
yes,
there is the world premiere documentary Cornerstone.
I didn't know.
Where you are actually interviewed about it.
Ah.
And I wanted to ask you, now that the world is getting to know your contribution,
yes,
I know from your humble background, modest background, you're going to say it is very modest. People are recognizing your efforts in building a school for a huge village. How will it be feeling when you are listening to that kind of a documentary on the first?
I'll be most humbled. In my life, as I might have told you before, and this is serious. Every time I've had a job to do, I've done it in the interest of the people I'm doing, whether as a teacher at Makerere, whether as a minister in the government of Uganda, member of parliament. I have never put my interests much ahead of other people's interests. So that premiere, you call it premiere?
Yes, it's a world premiere.
A world premiere. That's a good thing. I think if the world knows about what we are capable of doing, it's a good thing, and maybe it will make it easier for us to reach out to them and get support. Let me tell you, actually, diversionary, my interests are not about Nyaka only. For example, as the Chancellor of Makerere University, I was able to raise $21 million from MasterCard for paying fees for disadvantaged children at Makerere University. My first objective was the disadvantaged girl child from northern Uganda. But MasterCard said no, spread it all over the country, and yes, let it include even the male children. And I'm very, very happy that I was able to raise that money. By the time it is finished, a few thousand Ugandans will have benefited. And even if none of them buys me a cup of tea, I will thank God for it.
Wow. Now, Professor Onmota.
And
yes,
of the $21 million that came, not a single dollar entered my pocket. No.
very rare of you.
Makerere. Yes. And I derive great joy from doing that.
Let's talk about the youth.
Yes.
There is this huge phenomenon called gambling.
Gambling.
And then there is the issue of laziness amongst us, the youth, that is actually going to kill a whole generation. What do you have to say about the get-rich-quick mentality?
Get-rich-quick mentality is a very unfortunate development in our society. Mark you, I don't wholly blame the youth, because I think the youth have picked this behavior from their elders. There are many Ugandans who decided that the quicker, the faster they became hugely rich, the better, and by any means possible. And they did get rich, some through outright stealing of public money. When you serve in a public, whether as a civil servant or a politician, and you get out modestly as you entered, some people blame you. Look at this. He was in the government, others became very rich, he is poor. Instead of being celebrated for serving loyally and honestly, and coming out as you entered, you are blamed. Those who have stolen money are even celebrated, and some of them are given special seats in their churches because they contribute some of their loot to the churches. Some have even put up churches. Now, the young people, we have a saying in Ruchiga, my language. When you tie a goat which likes to eat people's crops with its kid, the kid will also learn to. Therefore, I don't want to blame the young people. Every generation have generations ahead of them to learn from and to copy. If we are all decent, hardworking, incorruptible, our children would not learn the get-rich-quick thing mentality. My blame is 100% on us adults. Or the great measure, not 100%. Because the younger people, they don't know better. They don't know differently. They think that's the only way. And by the way, they also know that it is nice to have money. Eh? How you acquired it is immaterial, because they don't know. Now, when you talk about gambling, again, some kids, by the way, I hate gambling with passion. I gambled only once, I think in 1954. I've never gambled again. Never.
You lost?
Of course I did. I lost everything. That's why I never went back. So I hate gambling. And I think I'm unlucky. I would rather work for what I get. Now this gambling, there are kids who play it as a game, it seems, I hear. But it becomes compulsive. I'm told of a young man who gambled his fees at university. When he told his parents about it, they admonished him and he hanged himself. There are many kids who don't go to school because they have spent their money on gambling. And gambling by its nature is for the benefit of the one who's running the game. Not you, the players. Maybe one of you will get something, but the rest of you, you are supposed to lose. And indeed you lose. Therefore, in my opinion, I think, I don't know, in other countries, this gambling, the large amount of the money they get, like 70% of the money they get, goes into taxes. Here, I don't know whether they pay any taxes. So the only justification for gambling, if any, is a means of revenue collection by the government. But as far as I'm concerned, we could even afford to ban gambling.
How best can we
just ban it?
ban it?
It becomes illegal to gamble. Yes.
Okay.
There is nothing positive, I dare say, about gambling. Whether for the child who is gambling or the society in which he lives.
Let's talk about your fashion.
Fashion?
Yes. What informs your fashion sense? Is it your personality or your
fashion? What do you mean? The clothes? The what?
Your way of dressing. The shirts are usually the same. What?
You guys, I don't even think about those things.
But you must be.
You can't believe many of my clothes. Other people give them to me. My wife is the best benefactor. She finds a nice shirt, she says, you must wear this. I say, most obedient servant. I like nice things. If you give me a shabby one, I will not put it on. And therefore, I think I should give you a tie.
Thank you very much.
To replace that one.
Thank you very much.
Yes. I am going to give it to you.
Thank you very much.
One of the old ones I have.
Thank you.
Yes.
Professor, what would you want history to best remember you for?
In all honesty, I want history to remember me as someone who was lucky to be able to get some quality education, as someone who was fortunate enough to have an opportunity to serve my country. I could have lived in America. Every time I was there, they would say, stay here. I said, no. To serve my country as honorably and as honestly as I possibly could in so many positions without taking advantage of the positions I held. That's how I wanted the world to remember me.
Any regret in your life?
This world is such that you can never be without regret. But on a balance, to have been raised in a deep part of former Kigezi, this deep down there, going to a very, you know, my first teacher was a graduate of primary 3. That was my first teacher. And we used to write in the dust with the finger. Then on a banana leaf with a thorn. Look at that. Then slate, and then eventually on paper. All the way to Doctor of Philosophy. Therefore, if I regretted anything, I would be being very unfair to the largely positive life I have led. When my father died, I was young. And I had a bit of difficulties getting my school fees. But that was more of a challenge than something to regret, because it never worked. I was eventually able to get the fees, and I was eventually able to finish my education.
Professor,
so really something to regret. I would have to think very hard. I'm in a very good mood today. I can't think of anything negative.
Professor, as we close,
Yes.
when do you hope to write a book for us?
You guys write.
No, we need
I'm
you
not
to write
good
in
at
your own
writing.
words. In your own words.
Many
writing.
people have asked me that question, but is there anything to write? So many people have written books. It's the same story. Nothing very spectacular. I don't know whether it would make any serious good reading. But there are a few things in my life that I could talk about. Like the challenge I had when my father died, being able to go to Kigezi College Butuvire with no shoes. I carried a grass-packed mattress. Fortunately, when I got there, there was a good mattress waiting for me and some blankets. So deprivation of a sort, but still it never worked very much. No, I have nothing to regret.
Thank you, Professor.
My pleasure.
And it has been a huge honor talking to you.
Thank you, Edmund.
Now, speaking to Professor Mondo Kagonyera briefly about his personal life and his work with Nyoka AIDS Project is an amazing story. Certainly, I cannot even summarize it in just a second. I'll leave you, the viewers, to listen and watch as many times as you can. Until we meet next time, your coach, Edmund Safari.